Hello, I am Ben Bizier. I am filling in for Beth Sheets, who could not be with us this morning. So DocStore is a registry that currently contains over 800 WIDL workflows and 400 CWL workflows. DocStore supports the concepts of organizations, and there is a BioData Catalyst organization that allows users and fellows of BioData Catalyst to register workflows and to help group them into functional areas. And some of the current areas that they're grouped into include alignment, variant and SV calling, GWAS, single cell genomics, gene expression prediction, and various helpful utilities. As you can see in the lower right-hand corner of this page is a link to that organization. Next slide, please. Over the past year, we've had a number of improvements within DocStore. We are actively working on improving the user experience, and we've gotten a number of those improvements done, but that is ongoing work, and you will continue to see it evolve as we release updates. In addition, we now support GitHub Apps functionality that allows easier syncing of workflows between GitHub and DocStore. Additionally, we now provide support for adding your workflows to your ORCID profile and also generating DOIs, digital object identifiers from DocStore, leveraging our Zenodo integration. And then finally, earlier this year, we implemented Galaxy workflows. So there's a growing number of Galaxy workflows within DocStore that can be launched on Terra.
Hey everyone, I'm Tony Patalunas. I'm a program manager with Seven Bridges. And so I'd like to start with just some overview and highlights since we're talking about democratizing analysis here. There have been 4,804 interactive analyses run, and what that means, I'll get to in a minute. There's been 13,607 workflows, tools or workflows run in the Seven Bridges environment, and that has totaled up to 32.1 years of computational time spent. And since January 1st, and these numbers are actually through November 30th. So we still have a month left in the year to get those numbers up. Next slide. And so the interactive analysis, before this year, in 2020, we had RStudio, which is that top left panel, and Jupyter Lab notebooks available. And so this is where you can log in and write your scripts. Those were available in 2020, but what we added in 21 is the SaaS Studio environment. So this was the first cloud SaaS Studio environment available. And this was added as a user request as people were working on COVID-19 data. So again, bringing that democratization of data analysis forward, more people had access to analysis if they were only familiar with SaaS. And we have a link here if you want to look at the SaaS guide to getting started. Next slide. In our tools and workflows, we now have 630 applications, so tools and workflows available that are kind of pre-configured, and many of them are benchmarked by our bioinformatics team. So you can log in and assemble these tasks in your project. And we have many popular tools, such as the entire Genesis pipeline. And we wanted to highlight kinship and ancestry pipelines that were built by our colleagues at University of Washington. And we have a bunch of quality control tools as well. And for interactive analysis, we have the interactive analysis where you're writing scripts. We have these tools that are pre-configured that you can string together. And then we've built some other kinds of interactive analysis, such as R Shiny apps. So here we have two R Shiny apps, the Locus Zoom and the Genesis Null model. So Locus Zoom allows you to do exactly what it says. You can upload your GWAS studies and zoom in on a locus of the genome to look at the distribution of the population there. Genesis Null model allows you to look at correlations, again, in your GWAS study, between phenotypes so that you can examine that closer. And these are both interactive graphing. And then we've also rolled out, this is currently in a public project, but in the new year, it will be brought in an interactive app in the same way the other ones were, that you could just launch in your browser. But we've released the annotation explorer for the top med data. So for the top med data, the annotation explorer, you can launch it and you can look through annotations for variants throughout any of the top med data sets that you have access to. And as part of our initiative here to bring on more users as of the open doors in July, we wanted to roll out more guides so more people feel comfortable on the platform and finding out how they can use BioData Catalyst powered by 7 Bridges for their own use cases. So here I've labeled 3 guides and they're all linked in the buttons at the bottom. So the first guide I'd like to highlight is a consortia guide. So we have many consortia that'll be mentioned later that have onboarded to the platform. And this guide walks through how a consortia can set up so that different components, such as your data coordinating center, your analysis coordinating center, and your clinical trial sites can work together on the BioData Catalyst ecosystem to bring in their sets of data, harmonize that data, and then redistribute subsets of the harmonized data for analysis. So follow that guide. We have a workshop and course guide. So we had a workshop and a course run over the past year in BioData Catalyst powered by 7 Bridges. And so there's a guide there for any educators who would like to bring BioData Catalyst into the classroom. You can follow that guide. And then for all users doing analysis in BioData Catalyst, we have an estimating and managing your cloud costs guide. And so this is just some best practices for how to work in the cloud and reduce the costs, both computational and storage for your best experience.
Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria Smith. If we haven't met before, I'm the project manager for Terra and BioData Catalyst. Just wanted to highlight a few fast facts here for our year-end review of the Terra platform. So since January 1st, we've featured 12 new workspaces, which are all available in BioData Catalyst powered by Terra. These are thanks to all of the work from our fellows, the internal Terra Broad team, and also our partners at UCSC and DocStore. We are going to be continuing to support cohort 3 fellows into the new year and are excited to continue welcoming new users onto the platform. We've had tens of thousands of workflows launched and notebooks launched and data sets imported. And I also wanted to highlight here some additional open access data sets on BioData Catalyst powered by Terra, including 1,000 genomes, AMP, baseline health, CCDC, CMG, ENCODE, Framingham Heart Study, HCA, NEMO, Target, and TCGA. And these data sets are all available for use by logging in and creating an account on the Terra platform. Go to the next slide. Great. So a lot of our work this year was focused on interactive analysis as well. So we have users on BioData Catalyst powered by Terra can launch instances of RStudio with RShiny. I've linked here how to launch that app in your Terra environment. We also have Hail available in Jupyter Notebooks. We have a sample and variant quality control method. And then we also did the Galaxy integration, as DocStore mentioned. And we're continuing this work into the new year, putting together requirements for verified third-party apps and bringing your own apps to the Terra platform for analysis. And then our other main feature highlight from this year, I know something was very requested from many of our users, is the ability for non-Broad Terra users to be able to get a sense of workflow costs and cloud costs. So we brought this feature to life with the rollout of what we called Project Per Workspace. This allowed costs to be displayed per workspace and users to estimate their workflow costs, as well as set up and receive Google Cloud Platform budget alerts. We're also in the process of working with our cloud cost providers to be able to empower users with the permissions themselves to configure these settings in your workspace. And please reach out to questions with this. I know it's been a bit of a process with the transition and there's a lot of documentation, some of which I linked here, but we're really glad to support users in getting this set up in Terra, and we know it's a really important feature. Next slide. Great. And a couple other deep dives into our interactive analysis features. So we created the ability for users to save data from the interactive environment so you can preserve your analysis if you're worried about losing any work done in any of those interactive analysis environments. You can also use the gsutil command to copy it to your workspace bucket. And then we also did some performance and streamlining of the environment for faster and more intense workflows that leverage machine learning through GPU instances and N2 instances. And we would love to hear if any of the analysis that you're doing has leveraged these changes and if they've been able to help save costs or do more intensive analysis on the Terra platform.